Hello and welcome to our long-awaited and very first video. Okay, thank you. My name is David, and on the next 4 minutes I will guide you through the process of how to create a sourdough starter. To make it, you just need water and flour. It really is that simple. The water could be dechlorinated, but tap water works just fine. The flour could be any type, but let's keep it on the gluten-full side for now. So I mean white flour, wholemeal flour, rye flour, which is the one I'm using in the video, spelt flour. The container must be clean, it doesn't need to be sterile, and it could be glass or plastic. In this instance, it took me 6 days for the starter to come to life, but for you it could be shorter or longer depending on the temperature of your environment. I wrote more about this on the description of the video, so please have a read. Okay, so what I'm doing here is mixing equal parts of flour and water because I'm making a 100% hydration starter, and I'm using 15 grams of each. I previously calculated that the final volume of starter will fit in my jar, but adjust the amounts accordingly for your size jar. Keep in mind that we should always aim for our final starter to have at least 1 or 2 inches of head space so it doesn't overflow the jar as it grows. Now we leave the jar sitting on the counter, not in the fridge, and avoid direct sunlight. Day 2. Same thing. Measure same amounts of flour and water, mix them until there are no dry patches, and we leave the jar unattended for the day. When I say a day, I don't mean 24 hours. It could be longer or shorter. Much in the same way as when we bake a sourdough loaf, we try the process to fit in our schedule and not the other way around. So it is fine if on day 1 I mix the starter in the morning and on day 2 I do it in the afternoon or even in the evening. This is day 3, and on day 3 you should start to see some activity in the form of tiny bubbles. I have previously measured the water and the flour for ease, so I just add the 2 ingredients and mix them well. And again I leave the jar sitting on the counter for the day. Day 5. And as you can see, a lot more bubbles have been formed. That means we are doing something right. Where is day 4, you would ask? Well, silly me, I forgot to feed my starter, so there's nothing to show on camera. Oh dear, is that a disaster? Not at all. This is actually going to help me explain that it is okay to miss a day or 2, or probably even 3 in the process. The starter will work just fine. Apologies about the light levels during this bit of the video. As you can see, it's almost midnight, and on that day I spent the whole day out and arrived home that late. And you will see in a moment that our sourdough starter is alive and kicking. And I hope your sourdough starter is also alive and kicking and will be by your side for many years to come. If you have questions, comments, problems in the process, or just want to tell us how your sourdough starter experience came about, we'd love to hear from you. Happy fermenting!